This is episode 56 of the DCC. This week we've got the Movie News Weekly, which we're going to talk about Avengers, Captain America, Black Panther, Last Jedi, hopefully, and Fantastic Beasts. And then we have some Animation Attack with Key and Peele, and some more Star Wars, because Star Wars. And also Parks News with, guess what? Disney After Dark, gonna do Star Wars. To all who come to this happy place, welcome to Star Wars Land.
Hey, man, when Shannon's on the show, that means we're talking about Star Wars. Me, the Star Wars expert, as Jay likes to put it. So obviously, we got to talk about some Star Wars.
Well, if that claim has made it so I forced myself onto the Story Geeks podcast.
Yeah, you forced yourself onto there because of that claim.
Which everyone can go check out now. We talk about Luke Skywalker, and it was really cool to have that kind of conversation, and it's only something that us original series fans could really discuss.
It's true. It's very true. Those old EU fans were like, all of their content has been retconned, which I think has like resulted in Dale being like, well, you can't use books to support your theories because all of my books are gone now. So I'm like, okay, Dale. Okay, sure. Whatever you say.
I did, yeah. Well, I never used EU to, whatever.
Okay, whatever. Whatever you say. You know, just know that. Like, have you read Lost Stars by Claudia Gray? I don't think so.
It is on my wish list on Audible.
Sure. Okay. You know, they play Across the Stars in that too, but I'm sure that was just a fluke.
Okay. I also have Dark Disciple, so I was sick and tired of this Star Wars. I would say you're kind of like old man Star Wars shaming me, and
snap!
I'm kind of I'm listening to a lot of audiobooks right now, which Shannon recommended. Shannon recommended Genuine Fraud to me. I think everyone should check it out. I would say if you're a guy and you're kind of having a hard time connecting in the early part of if you're listening, that's okay. It wasn't actually made for you, and it's not really for you, but it's an interesting story about women and how some of them can react to the environments that they're in.
And the hetero hero.
And and I really recommended it. I finished it in one day. And yeah, but anyway, so I'm starting to listen to more audiobooks and stuff about Star Wars because this whole Shannon stuff is driving me bananas. So
yeah, Dale is super jealous because I'm reading all of these books, and he just can't handle it.
Yeah. And then it will just create stronger conflicts when we still have different opinions.
That means when we have debates, we'll both be armed with this knowledge. That's what it means.
Well, in chapter 17, Rose once again mentions Finn's love for Rey.
That Jason Fry does not know how to write romance with women.
That's what it was. So
yeah. Well, because he did pretty good until you got to the Rose and Finn and the Reylo stuff. Then he was like, I don't know what to do with you anymore. Let's make Rose super jealous. But I'm like, okay. She was better in Cobalt Squadron. Although you do not have to read that book if you read The Last Jedi, because you learn everything in that. But she is depicted slightly different. Yeah. She's not quite as annoying.
So I do, again, as I say, I would recommend listening to or reading the Last Jedi novelization. One of my favorite scenes is a scene between Luke and Rey, which I can't fathom why they didn't put in the movie. It was probably one of the most important things that has happened for me in the whole story.
You're talking about the third lesson?
Yeah, if that is what we would make the third lesson, which was the ships coming to the shore.
Yeah, that's actually Ryan Johnson talked about that. That's the third lesson, and it's actually one of the deleted scenes with the movie coming out. And the reason he cut it was because it made Luke look like too much of an asshole, which I understand. But man, is it a great scene? It makes more sense when you put the Swallow scene after it, because then you know where she's going.
Right, but also that's so weird because I think it makes him look like. I think it makes it look like he was like kind of giving like a dicky lesson in the beginning, because he makes such a great point with it, and it's a very poignant point, and it's a great, and it also causes Rey to be like, well, then they're wrong,
right?
But then it has like the sweetest moment between them, and it makes them look softer and more connected. I felt, like for me,
it's a great scene.
I felt like it gave more purpose to why he would end up making a different decision. And I don't know. I think that was, when I say that my only issue with The Last Jedi is some of the directorial decisions, and then that scene was taken out, and then I know what that scene is now. I like The Last Jedi. I still think that he made some wrong choices. That's that's all my.
Yeah, I totally get that.
But yeah, also check out the Story Geeks podcast. They are great friends of ours, and Jay will get a thrill if one of you goes and checks it out and says, I came and checked it out because of the DCC. He'll be like, oh my God.
Jay's the best. Like, seriously, go listen to his show. And so is Daryl.
He's super great. Yeah, they're both really great. I love them. They have such a different structure than us. Yeah.
There's a different feel on their show. It's fun to, like, pop over there and do an episode.
Yeah, only if you've listened to our episode. Then it's fun to go to their episode.
You gotta listen to us first, and then go over there.
But did you get a chance to watch the Infinity War trailer?
Yes, I literally did, like, right before we started talking, because Shannon forgot while she was at work.
You know what? Still more prepared than Josh last week, so that's...
Still more prepared than Josh. Oh, well, Josh tries. He's very busy. Yeah, but no, the Infinity War trailer is insane. Like, it looks, I get more and more excited about this movie the closer we get to it, because I'm not really a fan of, like, the ensemble movies. I've been liking a lot of our newer characters more. Like, I really loved Black Panther, and, like, I love Guardians and Spider-Man. So, like, seeing them in the trailer and, like, seeing how everybody's interacting with them was what I was most excited for, because like, Peter Parker is adorable talking to Doctor Strange. Like, I would expect nothing less. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think it looks really awesome.
I love that scene too. I also think that we are a witness Captain America about to be killed.
I think it would make sense to kill him at the end of part 1, because then that gives everybody something to rally against that martyrs him going into part 2 in the final battle. So that would make a lot of sense.
So I actually think he gets killed early in the movie.
Oh, really?
I think the attack on Wakanda is early in the film.
I guess that would make sense, because you can't really show a lot of the third act in your trailers.
Right, and also because I think it's easier to attack a place than it is to hunt down Vision and Doctor Strange. So he's trying to get the other Infinity Stone. 3 of them are on Earth. Might as well go attack the stagnant one and get more power, and then try to hunt down these superheroes that have the other Infinity Stones.
I genuinely don't know. What is the Infinity Stone that's in Wakanda?
The Soul Stone.
Is that the
the Soul Stone? That's why they're able to go to the realm of the dead and stuff like that. Gotcha.
Yeah. See, like when it comes to connecting them all, I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. Don't ask me. Go ask Dale. He knows.
Right, yeah. So so that's what I kind of think. I think Captain America's going to die pretty early on. To be honest, I think that. They showed him showing up and they're smiling, so that he showed up to Wakanda pretty early because they hadn't been hanging out previously, and
he's gotta go get Bucky with his awesome bun with no pins. How does that work?
So I think Cap could die pretty early, but here's hoping it's Black Widow, and so.
I mean, honestly, though, like any of the original Avengers. Oh, yeah. Fair game.
They should all fair game, except for Thor.
Honestly, though, I don't disagree with you.
So, also another thing is, I think that in the Hulkbuster costume is none other than Bruce Banner. I think that's how he's going to help be there.
That's cool. I've always wondered what they were going to do with him, because I feel like. He's Hulk, but I feel like he's stronger when he's Bruce Banner. So I was interested to see how they were gonna do stuff.
It's the best when he's the Hulk body with Bruce Banner's mind, but we'll probably won't get that till the single movies.
Yeah, if we ever get there.
Well, I think we saw a bit of it in Ragnarok.
Yeah, a little bit.
You're starting to see his personality come through more. It's not all just rage.
Yeah, you definitely need to like make him more of a character, because I feel like if you asked anybody, he's probably not your favorite Avenger.
Like Hulk?
Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe if you're a little kid.
Yeah, like, because he's cool and he's green and he destroys stuff. But like when it comes down to like, why do you like this character? It's like, I don't know, because Hulk smash. Like
because because there's a poem that makes him calm down.
Yeah, like what? You stroke his wrist. I don't know. Let's not talk about Ultron.
The craziest thing I think that's happening right now in the MCU is that Black Panther has surpassed The Last Jedi domestically.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's crazy.
That's really a testament to how amazing Black Panther is. It's so good. It deserves it. It's honestly, like, that's insane.
Disney was really quick to respond too, in the sense of like they made sure to, because I do not believe that all those people were booked for all those talk shows like that for after the release of Black Panther. I think it happened after they saw the reception. And then yes, it's just been a cultural sensation, and it's amazing that a standalone Marvel film that isn't a sequel, but he did get introduced, so it's kind of iffy on that one.
But I would still say though, like a lot of people probably, if you're not like a diehard, like I know, like with me, like I saw Civil War, but it'd been so long, so like yeah, sure, I kind of knew how his father died, but like I didn't really know anything about him at all, so I was just going into it like completely like, no, I don't know what to expect, and I was completely blown away by that movie.
There's a podcast called Song Exploder that will take a song, have the artist deconstruct it, and then they'll play the song in its entirety, and it's awesome. You can like listen to the Stranger Things, them talking about how they made Stranger Things and all that stuff like that, but they talked about how they made the Killmonger theme song. It was like so good. And The Weeknd and Kendrick Lamar have a song on the soundtrack which is called Pray For Me, which is interesting because Ain't Nobody There to Pray For Me is a theme that Kendrick Lamar has, because all his family is passed away, so or his grandmother's passed away, and so he doesn't have anyone who prays for him anymore, and so he carried that theme on to Killmonger, which he means he understands that connection for himself in the Killmonger character, and and just how they made that, how they made the song. I know you probably don't listen to Song Exploder, but you should go listen to this one because it's very cool and it makes hearing that music even better. So
yeah, it's insane. Honestly, what I want to see though, like seeing how well Black Panther did, and you know, seeing how well Wonder Woman did, I want to see Disney recognize this and see that people want to see these new perspectives, because that's something that Warner Brothers did not do with Wonder Woman. They didn't recognize why she had that success. Right. I want Disney to recognize why Black Panther has been so successful, because it was so fresh and different and provocative and amazing and fun, and I want them to see this and keep going. Like
right, like I don't know why they've forgotten, like why they forget, like
well, they crank out a good one and then they revert back, you know. It's crazy. They need to recognize this, and we need to keep moving forward. We need to keep seeing all these new perspectives, both on screen and behind the screen. Right, for sure.
I think even just the Wrinkle in Time is another good example. It might be
Wrinkle in Time.
It's a good film, right? And
so good.
You know, like right.
They did announce that the Wrinkle in Time director, I forget her name, but she's going to be directing a new DC superhero movie.
I actually kept it out of the rundown because of. Not like it's cool that she's going to direct it and stuff like that. It's just explaining. I didn't want to explain New Gods. Basically, is what it came down to. Yeah,
like I know a little bit about that stuff, and it's really complicated. I can't even explain like what she's going to be doing.
The best way to boil it down is that where Darkseid comes from is a planet called Apocalypse. Apocalypse exists in a 2-planet dimension.
You got like New Genesis
and Apocalypse. Good and bad, and the good guys basically look like they're like superhuman people.
There's a specific episode of Young Justice that like doesn't make any sense, but like if you just keep watching it, you'll understand what these characters are.
Same with the Justice League cartoon. as well. That also helps a lot. Last Jedi may have been passed, but they're doing some really cool things with the Blu-ray release and the digital copy release, and they're doing a score-only cut of Star Wars The Last Jedi, which is so interesting that they would do something like that. And I wonder why they chose this film to single it out to do that. Like, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I've heard about, like, you know, John Williams is going to retire from Star Wars after 9, so I'm wondering if they just did this, you know, to honor him since it was the most recent one. But I honestly think, like, the sound design and, like, the way that they did the music in Last Jedi is so interesting that, like, you really, taking everything else away, you really get, like, a completely new experience watching it. Like, I know I watched, like, the cave scene into the hand touch scene. I found it on Twitter where it was just the music. And you just get this completely different feel just hearing the music and, like, seeing the actors. Like, it's really insane. Like, it's really, really cool. And I feel like with Last Jedi, it was so different in the way that it was centered around its characters that it just added this kind of new opportunity. But I'm not sure if they did it specifically because of that or if it was just because John Williams will be leaving.
Yes, there's a lot more, like, leitmotif and reprisals in The Last Jedi than there are in other Star Wars. Yeah, you know, it's so cool. I'm so excited. I'm gonna check it out. You have to, I think, sign up to Movies Anywhere, which is US only,
but like, if you, well, I know, like, in the US, if you get any kind of Disney movie, when you get that little online code, it goes into Movies Anywhere. So if you've already been using that, you're already golden. Like, you're good.
Yeah. In Canada, it's not, like, available, and, like, it's kind of changing and stuff like that. But I don't know. But that's unfortunate. But I'm excited for The Last Jedi Blu-ray to come out because I want to watch all the deleted. I'm actually not really watching them because I want to watch them all.
Yeah, I've been bad. Like, they're all over Twitter. I told myself, like, don't spoil it. I'm like, nah, I'm watching them all.
But honestly, like, the thing about deleted scenes is, like, when you watch the deleted scenes in Attack of the Clones, you're like, oh, so you basically deleted their entire relationship. Good call, right? Like, and you got some of the best performances out of your actors in those scenes too. Another weird choice. Because I've seen the Phasma one, and it's like, well, that is just so much better than what you had. Like, and it took up how many more seconds to do that? Like,
yeah, I know, like, I know specifically why they took out certain scenes. With the Phasma one, it was because he didn't know what was going to happen with 9, so he didn't want to, like, set up too many. Like, I know Rian Johnson specifically said that he ended his, like, Last Jedi the way that he did because you could put a cap on it. You could say that everything's done, everything's wrapped up, and go in a different direction with 9. Like, yes, he did set up stuff, but technically you could leave it. And so, like, with the Phasma thing, it was so, like, well, you have to continue it now because something happened, whereas, like, now it looks like she's dead, but actually the author of her book made it sound like she might not be. So,
and I never thought she died either. Like, I don't think any off-screen death, I'm always like, meh. You know, like, I don't know. And, like, the Emperor is an exception because they kind of show him blowing up. And
well, it's also, you know, like...
Yeah. But I don't think that... I think that... Not your explanation, but that explanation, I think, is incorrect because I don't think it does that. I think it just added depth to her character, and she kills everyone who would have heard it, so it doesn't have any further impact except for making you, like... You could then have the potential to turn her into this kind of, like, she goes with the way of the wind, and she tries to be a, like, come to the good side, or, you know, the resistance, and, like, Finn's like, no way, like, she's just trying to save herself or whatever, right? Like,
oh yeah, because, like, that's my one disappointment with Phasma, because even in the book, like, I just feel like you don't get enough depth from her to make her a compelling villain. That's like one of my problems with her not thank you, Percy. One of the problems with her not actually being dead in 9 is that there's not much to her, and she's not in the novel at all. Whereas like Finn gets like so much more development in the novel, and like Hux gets a lot more development in the novel, but like Phasma is just not really around, so I don't know where they're going with that.
Basically, when she shows up, that's when.
Like, and every time I saw The Last Jedi, I forgot that Phasma was gonna show up, even though she was in the trailer. Like, I still would forget.
So here's the thing with Phasma, is I think that because of who the actress is, and because it's a female stormtrooper, and she's in charge, we're rooting for the character to be more as fans, but I just think that all the writers and people involved are kind of like, it's not really like, it's just like a special character, guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like, I don't really think they.
Well, she even came about because that was one of the designs for the Jedi Killer, which turned out to be Kylo Ren, and they were just like, oh, it looks so cool, like, let's actually do something with it, and then people got attached, kind of like Boba Fett, I think.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's right. Like, people go like, you know, back when we used to get in like arguments, they were like, you know, prequels suck. There's not even like a Boba Fett type of character, and I'd be like, "What, Boba Fett?
Like, but you don't need
Boba Fett,
right?
Like,
yeah.
Darth Vader warns him about not disintegrating people. It's like, so, like, that's not. He still didn't do anything. Like, who cares about the guy? He wears a cool suit, and people just get so obsessed with Boba Fett. I just like never. I'm like, I just never got it. I was like,
people still want a Boba Fett movie, and I'm like, why?
A blind guy knocked him into a pit, and he had a rocket pack, and he still couldn't.
Yeah, that was like the lamest death ever.
You suck.
I remember specifically when we were watching our marathon, Kaylin was just like, "That's it," and I'm like, "Yeah, he's dead now." She's like, "Okay, whatevs, moving on."
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, right? So, yeah, you know, we want more for the character, but it just isn't there. And
yeah, it's not there. There was such an opportunity with the book, and I honestly feel like it was a missed opportunity. Maybe there is more there. I don't know. It's just one perspective.
Yeah, from a certain point of view.
From a certain point of view, that's right. Oh, hello.
Fantastic Beasts trailer. Question. Interesting thing. Is, I don't know, like, I feel like, are Newt and Dumbledore going to be a thing?
Oh, that is a good question.
Yeah, right?
I never thought about that.
I thought that was like, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that would be interesting.
It could still just be like a teacher-student, and they could just be friends, obviously, right? Like gay guys don't have to like date every guy they're friends with.
It's still it's an interesting interaction that you don't normally see.
Yeah, I just kind of what I thought. But I like the trailer. I'm excited to see Ezra Miller back. Probably the best part of Justice League for me.
He's pretty great.
Yeah, he is great. And yeah, I really liked the first film. I love the adult Harry Potter world. I love that we're getting to explore it. I am interested in Grindelwald because even though we know where it's going to go with this, Harry Potter's so much about the characters, and it's cool to be able to piece together maybe why Dumbledore was so guarded with Harry, because like he could have avoided a lot of trouble if he really just laid it all out on the line. Like when he's like, all right, sit down. We have to have a talk.
I honestly think that like Grindelwald has the potential to be such a really cool, complex villain. And it adds so much depth to the wizarding world and, you know, Dumbledore, like, because Dumbledore actually has a very complex and weird backstory. So I'm very interested to see that. I loved the first Fantastic Beasts. Like, I loved Newt and just everybody and like Kowalski, and I'm really excited to get back to those characters. And so seeing that trailer, it just looked so cute.
And
I'm so ready.
Jude Law is I don't know why he's a great choice. Like, I like Jude Law a lot. Actually, my kid's name's Jude. Not named after Jude Law.
Well, I should have been.
He's actually named. I think he's actually named after Jude from Across the Universe.
I always wondered if he was from like Hey Jude.
Across the Universe is a Beatles musical.
That makes sense.
Kind of named after that character more.
Right. This dog is throwing a hissy fit. Let me go let him out really quick.
let's stop the show for a quick second and talk about how you can help the show. So one thing I would like for all of you to do is please go leave a review on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean. If you listen to the podcast on your bus ride or while you're working out or whatever, just take that extra minute to leave us a review. It means the world to us. It helps us grow and it helps build your community. But if you watch us on YouTube, which a lot of you do now, please leave a comment or share or like or subscribe. Any of those little interactions that you can do. Again, it helps grow the channel and build our community. It means the world to us. There are a ton of other types of videos as well. We got some feedback. It was like, you should make the DCC episodes shorter. I agree with you. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, because sometimes the conversation allows for it to be shorter and sometimes it doesn't. And if you feel like you're missing stuff out, like say you watch one of our 30-minute YouTube videos of the DCC, go listen to the podcast version, because that's usually the more unedited version. It's much usually longer, and so you get even more DCC content. So check out the podcast for that. And I will try to keep the DCCs a little tight and a little shorter, but it's still a podcast show, so it's just a little bit of a different format. But if you find those like too long and you don't have time for it, we have hundreds of other types of videos that you can watch on YouTube. Josh just is talking about a Goofy movie. We've got Shannon talking about masculinity in Disney, or talking about
Star Wars.
A
lot of Star Wars.
No, and lots of Disney. And
mostly Star Wars.
Angie's covering Pixar a lot of the time. We've got Saturday Morning Live every morning at 9 o'clock in Pacific time if you want to get up early. You can watch Josh try to take over the show from Angie. It's a great.
Well, and I will say one other thing about the DCC. Dale and I edit differently. He edits the video and I edit the audio, so there's gonna be different little things in there. So if like you're a diehard and you want to find out like
Phoebe,
the little things that Shannon keeps but Dale maybe edits out, or like vice versa, you just go ahead, watch both, listen to both.
Basically, I edit out anytime Shannon makes me look wrong. No, I don't. I'm just
kidding. Yeah. I edit out like all of the awkwardness.
Right.
Normally.
Yeah, which is
but
good.
I'm probably going to keep it all in this episode.
Yeah, maybe. So it's good. And that's how you can support the show. You know, there are people who are signing up to Patreon, which we love, and we thank you. And if you can ever spare $1, that's awesome. But you don't have to support the show that way. There are other ways to do it. And let's get back to the show. All right, Shannon. After that self-promotion I wish we could just have like advertising that people paid us for. That would be
so
nice.
Great to throw in there. Yeah.
Like ND mattresses.
Hot topic, hit us up.
Yeah. ND mattresses. Canadian-made mattresses that were on Dragon's Den. Like, I don't know.
I have like so many promotions that I would so willingly give, but like we're not getting paid for it.
Yeah. Like, spoiler warning, I'm willing to sell out.
Yeah,
really,
come on.
Yeah. If I had like a Zach Morris situation where someone was like, all right, so we're going to bring you on, but you got to dump the rest of those, I'd be already signed all the paperwork. They'd be like, it doesn't matter. Josh who?
Right.
Let's do an animation attack. Key and Peele, Shannon?
They sound familiar, Dale. It's probably not because of the Oscars or anything. Definitely not. Definitely not. But I feel like I may have recognized those names. Mm-hmm.
Well, they are making an animated film with Netflix with the director Henry Selick. Do you remember who Henry Selick is?
Could he have been the director of Nightmare Before Christmas?
He is the director of Nightmare Before Christmas. That's right. So how cool is that? That's cool. I'm really excited about that. Those are funny guys. It's about demons trying to get out of hell. They're like, this place sucks. We got to get out of here. So that's going to be super cool. I'm really excited about that. And
I'm always excited for like the Netflix original, like anything, especially the animated shows, because there's just so much that you can do since you're on Netflix and not on actual television. So this would be cool.
Totally. And I'm excited because the people they have involved, I feel like it's going to offer a different animation style. And I think that's all. I think success with different animation styles is always important if we want to continue to further animation, which apparently a lot of people hate the current CG style. And
what can you do, man?
You know, when they say don't listen to the comments, to do the opposite and reply to every comment, it's a different type of toll on your mind. And
it's true. It's true.
But but people kind of maybe are growing tired of the Pixar Disney style of animation, which I kind of like first world problems. I think really is like.
No, clearly this is a huge problem that like needs to be solved. Well, clearly,
it's like I'm sorry, like it is beautiful animation, and if you appreciate animation, you still need to recognize that it's beautiful animation. You may not prefer 3D animation, it's still beautiful animation, and they do a miraculous job. You cannot get Moana to feel like Moana without computer animated anything, you know, like, you know, people will be like, oh, I wish they'd go back to like hand-drawn like Atlantis. It's like that's computer graphics. Like,
yeah.
Just because
well, and like I'm like the same way. Like, yeah. I really love that like merging of like the computer animation and like the hand-drawn
Treasure Planet.
Like Treasure Planet, exactly. I really love that. But like you see like the backgrounds in Good Dinosaur or like the hair in Moana, and it's crazy what people are doing.
Or water,
like it's really cool. Yeah, or water, or like that Mr. Incredible shirt has fuzz on it. Like, exactly. What?
And so I love, and I think people just want there to be a world where we're getting both.
Yeah, I think people just want variety.
Cake and eating it too.
Yes, yeah. Like, I would love that variety. Like, I'm glad that, like, so many things look similar because it makes it so much easier to make crossover videos on YouTube, which Throwback used to love those things, but I'd love some variety.
Well, but, that's why we do this segment on the show, is because we're trying to let you know there is variety, and you don't have to put it all on Disney to make the variety for you. You can be a Disney fan and find this other animation, and this is going to be a place to find this new animation. And
speaking of new animation, actually,
there's going to be more Forces of Destiny.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the interesting thing about these new episodes is that they have changed the way that some of the characters are drawn a little bit. Like, specifically Anakin looks totally different, and I'm totally here for it. Like, it looks great.
And Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill's going to be playing Luke Skywalker on it, so that's a reason to tune in.
There's going to be, like, for all of you Clone Wars fans, there's going to be, like, an Ahsoka Padme Anakin episode. There's going to be Rey with some porgs. I'm hoping Kylo Ren will show up because he got a doll, so
just
fingers
like a
crossed.
Kylo Ren, like, workout video. It's just like him, like,
that's what I
curls.
want. Yeah.
Oh,
here's an amazing thing about the doll. Like, okay, so you can't brush his hair, which, first of all, that's my first problem. Like, I want to be able to brush his hair. It's not real. And, like, you can't, like, take his shirt off or whatever, so you can't get swallow. But you can take the shoes off, and he's got bare feet. Like, what? That's so weird.
Put on socks.
It's just so weird that, like, out of anything, that's what they would do, is, like, a barefoot Kylo Ren in doll form. Like, why?
So, two things to point out. You tried to brush his hair and take off his clothes. just putting it out there.
I mean, that was the first thing I noticed about this doll, was that it had fake hair, and I was like, no, that's not okay. I'm being denied. Yeah. Does Disney not want my money?
So, you remind me of this story. There are these things out there that exist. They're like sex dolls called real dolls, and there's like a movie called Lars and the Real Girl. Someone is not making a lot of money right now for not making Kylo Ren real dolls. I know one person who would creepishly.
No, that's where it goes too far.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a sex doll. It's just it's so realistic, right? Like, you don't have to. How you use it is up to you. Like Lars in The Real Girl, he didn't use it. He used it to love at, and.
Dale, I am a precious Southern belle. What are you insinuating here?
I do think it's a slippery slope to becoming like a murderer. Like, because
I mean, it's true. It's true. Like, that was the first thing my mom said to me when she saw my Kylo Ren candle. She said, "Are you actually making a shrine?" And I said, No, I don't know what you're talking
Not
about.
yet. I don't have enough candles.
Hey, no, it's on the shelf over there. It's not even near my Kylo Ren pop figure. That's on the other side. Yeah. Thank you.
And there's not even magazines to get clippings for anymore. So
no. Yeah. See, like, no. I do have like a creepy bookmark for Twilight that somebody made me like that. I still have that, but I don't know where it is.
I think you would enjoy a Kylo Ren real doll in the sense of like, because you'd have to bathe it, and you have to brush its hair. You'd have to like carry it around and like put it.
See, this is where like this is where like the introversion comes in, where that's too much of a real person. Like, no.
Oh, it's too real. It's just like, you wouldn't like Kylo Ren just like sitting in the corner staring at you while you sleep.
See, like, this is the thing that we talk about. It's like I couldn't meet Adam Driver because I would melt into a puddle on the floor. It couldn't happen.
That's funny. Like Alex Mack. Anyone remember Alex Mack? Shout out to Alex Mack fans. So Monday, March 19th is when these new episodes of Star Wars Forces of Destiny come out. So I'm super excited about those because they've been knocking it out of the. Well, that's a good one.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Well, that's my baseball.
They're awesome. 10 p.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m.
They're going to be on the TVs as well, but I always feel like it's weird to like say that they're going to be on TV when if you have TV,
you could watch them immediately on YouTube.
To us on a podcast, you probably have the internet, so you should just watch it on YouTube.
Just go watch. And plus, they're all going to go up at one time on YouTube.
Yeah, right.
So
and they're only like 2 minutes, so
yeah, they're amazing. Forces of Destiny is where is that?
We've got some parks news in which I actually had suggested to Josh. I'm like, it'd be nice if you were a special guest when we had parks news, and he was kind of like, no. And then he's like, but I'll still do it if you want. And I'm like, no, not now. Thought you would be excited about this opportunity, but you can GTFO.
So instead, you brought park news to me, who knows nothing about the parks.
No, and that's okay, because we're just going to talk about it. But Disney After Dark, which is basically getting to go to Disneyland after dark. which
wow, what a great concept. I wish we could actually, get some good content with that.
I know, like, please, like, just make something that's not Kingdom Keepers.
I hear Kingdom Keepers gets better. I've got the second one sitting in my to reads pile, guys, but it keeps getting buried under Star Wars books. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and come on, I don't know.
Well, we're not going to do it for Explain This Book to Me, but I would talk about it on my other channel if I read it, which might happen. I don't know.
Short of some giant turnaround in his writing style, I don't know. But
that's very true. But we digress.
Because every time we bring up that makes us sad.
Salty.
But it's going to be a Star Wars theme this time, which is really cool, because last time it was throwback, I guess. Which is great. I think they're going to, like, doing all these small little Star Wars events is super good to get people continuing to get excited about Star Wars at Disneyland Park and kind of making Disneyland feel like Star Wars. Like, there is this really important thing that Disney tries to do, which is, like, when people go to the park, they don't want you to go to Star Wars Land and not feel like, and have it feel like it's totally out of place from Disneyland. Right. They want to transport you to a new place, but they still want you to feel like you're a part of Disneyland. And so I think they're continuing to do this by ramping it up. I'm excited for that. I wish it was May 5th, because we're trying to talk about Shannon and I going to. I just don't know how I'm going to make it work.
That's actually when I graduate. Yay. Although my car just broke again, so I don't even know if I'll have the money for it.
Exactly. Well, that's me. Like, that's what sucks. Is like we're both just like, how do we get to Disneyland?
Yeah, we both want to go to Disney so bad. Yeah. It's planning and money. Yeah. So I mean, if you want to send us some money, that'd be great.
But like the thing is, like, and the huge part of like the growth is like it increases our options to be able to go to to Disney. It's not first so we can go to Disneyland. It's so we can like film more content. Like Shannon needs to do a day at Disney with Josh, and we could do like another episode of the DCC.
Yeah, and like Dale and I never got to like spend time really like in the parks together.
No, not really.
So we just got the one day.
Yeah, and that was at DCA, and which you controversially say is like a better park.
I thought it was great. I don't know what you're talking about, Dale. I had so much fun.
I love DCA. It's great.
Yeah.
But, and so and we just want to do more things like that, and we want to be able to have a meetup and have people who like live in that area or want to go there and come see us and stuff, and do some maybe work with Corey and some Story Geeks, all that stuff. So
Yeah, but it'd be great if we could like plan something around like an event, like a Disney after dark or like that kind of stuff. I know, like I am eagerly awaiting the Star Wars Celebration announcement, so I can start planning for that. I'm definitely going.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Like I'm definitely going.
100%.
100%, definitely going.
When?
We don't know when it is or where it is, but I am definitely going.
Yeah. And I guess we're probably going to go to D23 again.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of is
probably.
It's kind of like a must, even though we both were like, meh.
Unless Celebration is around D23, then I'll be at Celebration. Sorry.
Well, yeah, because I don't know. Like D23 wasn't. I don't think it's that great of a convention.
Honestly, though, like I feel like we got to see that animation panel. You guys got to see the parks panel. We got that news coming out anyway. I feel like the best part about D23 was honestly just like hanging out with each other and getting to meet other people, which we could do at any convention. Right.
And it would be cheaper for us in the long run to just do it on a normal day than to just do it at the park, you know, to do the thing about So D23 is still cool though, but I just kind of, it was strange, but it also gave a lot of people opportunities to see us as well. Like people like seeing us and we like seeing them.
Well, yeah, because I mean that was my favorite part, was getting to hang out with like Phoebe and Skylar and all of them. So
totally.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we did get to see Jacksepticeye, but we were very far away. So
well, some of us got to touch him and
see. Now you made it creepy.
Exchange phone numbers. So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I never told you that part. We exchanged phone numbers.
Yeah, I know you're best friends. It's okay.
Me, Mark Hamill, and Jacksepticeye just sit around talking about Raylo fanfic all the time.
I'm sure you do. Actually, speaking of, I just had my soul ripped out of my body this morning because I just finished a fan fiction. It was great. We're pretty sure it was written by Ryan Johnson. So
really, you think Ryan Johnson wrote a fanfic?
I mean, I'm sure he does. I mean, he probably didn't write this one, but like, it's just so. It was written before The Last Jedi, and we're just sitting here going like, how did she know? Like, how did she know? Like, she predicted so much stuff. It's insane. It's awesome.
You think it's Ryan Johnson, but you think it's a girl when you refer to the writer?
Oh, well, I mean, most Raylo fanfic writers are girls. Oh. So, I mean, it's probably a woman out there somewhere who wrote this, but, I mean, it could be Ryan Johnson or Kelly Marie Tran. Could be.
Yeah, I think a guy Raylo fanfic would be kind of weird.
Well, it's just normally fan fiction writers are normally women.
Totes.
Like any fandom.
Totally. So. Yeah, I wonder why that is. Maybe well, I listened to I didn't know a lot about the history of fan fiction, but I listened to an episode of Metamachina all about it, which I highly recommend. I just recommend listening to that podcast anyway because it's amazing. But like, this is a corner of like any fandom that kind of sprung up for women to write content like for women by women, like getting that representation in there. Do you think it also maybe might stem from like diary and journal writing, which women tend to do more than men?
I mean, maybe, but I feel like that's just a writing thing in general.
Okay,
you know. But I definitely think it was an outlet for women to like get that representation in there, especially back, you know, in the day or whatever, when like we didn't have a lot of female representation. That's another reason why, like, you know, but that's another reason why like slash shipping is like so in, because there's so many male characters that like obviously you're gonna ship them with other male characters, like, of course.
Totally.
So Storm Pilot, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, why not? Who cares? I'm so over. I'm just like, I just want to like not have it be a thing. Like,
I know, it's like, just let me enjoy my fandom, like, please.
Well, and you know, we have a diverse group of listeners, and they like leave a lot of comments, and they're you know, one thing I like about our YouTube comments board too, is people feel confident enough to tell us things that like could be controversial about their opinions and thoughts, but they feel comfortable enough to say it. And I really appreciate that. I like that. And,
yeah, I do too, because it lets us feel that way too, because it's like a growing thing. Like, we can all just be real with each other. Right.
And as Shannon, I think Shannon has really been great at living what the show and the network has been about, which this is a place for everyone to love the stuff that they love, because we never felt like we could do it before. And that's something we used to talk about earlier back in the day.
Back in the early days.
And we don't talk about it as much as so much anymore. And If people follow all of the podcasts pretty close, I'm sure they know that there's been Star Wars has been, and Last Jedi and Rayla has been like a point of contention for us and stuff, and I feel like I don't want to betray any of you who've come to trust that I will hear you out and listen to your points. And so please, you can message us anytime and tell us how you feel and thought, and you can know how I feel about Trump, and you can still be a Trump supporter, and I'll still hear out what your points are. And that's why we're here, is that we're a group of people who have maybe only one thing in common, is that we love this one thing or we love this other thing, and that's okay. We're here for you to feel comfortable, and hopefully you take something away from it, like, because we take something away from all of you all the time, and we really appreciate it. So
it's good to have different opinions. It's good to celebrate different opinions, as long as it never turns into one side attacking the other, because we're all here to just create a safe environment and just talk about things that we love, and that may differ at sometimes, but that's totally fine, because that's how you grow. You just take new information in.
Right. And also, if you want to try to get if you want people to come to your side, which like in arguments, a lot of people are trying to do that, trying to get you to convince somebody of your point. As soon as you start attacking people, that's a logical fallacy. It's called ad hominem. Can also be straw man, but it's mostly ad hominem. And you fail. Immediately, you fail the argument as soon as you do that. So to be a better, stronger person, to get your point across, don't do that. And one will make the internet better, which I think our community boards, like, except for one video, I think our community boards, like the people who participate consistently, are really great. And if you're a listener and you're afraid of reaching out, you can talk. Like, our normal commenters are super supportive and awesome.
Oh yeah.
And especially on Saturday Morning Live, like, tons of people are talking in there, and it's all different backgrounds, all different things. Again, I'm a 32-year-old man who's friends with a 21-year-old girl, and I can guarantee there's a lot of husbands out there whose wives wouldn't let them do that. So we're all different, and so, like, again, we're trying to celebrate each other for our differences, because we are connecting on a similarity. And with that, this has been episode 56 of the DCC. We love all of you. Thank you for tuning in and spending your entertainment hours listening to us. And with that, I will see you in a galaxy far, far away. Bye, double hand wave.
Bye. I know that damn left hand, man. I don't ever know which hand to wave with either.
It doesn't feel normal doing the double hand wave anymore. I think I might just stop doing it. I think it's the positioning of the mic. Maybe if the mic was here, I could do it better. I don't know.
I mean, I think I waved with the wrong hand this time too. Like, I think I normally wave with this. Now I'm questioning my identity.
Phoebe,
thanks,
we need some continuity checks, please.
Phoebe, please help us. Checks. Like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore.